Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, Kevin Rapkoch Fishing. We're back out at the Phoenix canals again today. This is our third week in a row of showing some fly fishing at the canals. It's about 7:30 in the morning, 85 degrees or so. I've been walking the canals for about 10 minutes so far, just looking at the canals, what's happening. I'm seeing a little bit of topwater action by bass and grass carp, but not much so far. And then I'm seeing some common carp feeding down below and up on the sides about 2 feet under the surface. So that being the case, I'm gonna start out with the dry dropper rig. That way I can try to get to the fish that are feeding up top, but also have a play for the fish that are feeding down below. So today I'm starting out with a 6-weight fly rod. I have a hopper up top. Down below, I have a Prince nymph. I've had good success with both of those flies, the hoppers with bass and grass carp, the nymphs with common carp and tilapia. I'll switch it up as we go if I need to. The other dry fly I have a ton of success with out here are the cicadas for both bass and grass carp. It's a beautiful morning so far today, guys, so why don't we hit it, try to catch some fish. Coming up on a set of stairs here. Oftentimes there'll be a bass lingering around these stairs. Oh, got a bass, guys, on the nymph. Oh, that was sick. Got a bass on the nymph, guys, on the dropper. I was not expecting that. Not expecting that at all. Hopefully we can get him up to us on that little nymph. Let's see. Yeah, guys, now that's crazy. That is pretty crazy, guys, right there. Bass don't need the biggest of lures, guys. Look at that on that tiny nymph right there. That was sick. Nice. First catch of the day. We'll take it. I was definitely surprised. There he goes. Got that nymph on for carp usually. But hey man, around here, all these fish will eat anything. Kind of slim pickings sometimes, and you put something right in front of them, hey, why not, right? Why wouldn't a bass eat a little nymph or bait fish or something tiny? It's just food to them. That bass was just sitting right here. I couldn't see him when I casted, and he didn't react to the dry fly hitting. But as soon as I stripped that dry fly across the stairs, that nymph popped up, and I saw that bass come right up. That nymph had his attention, and he went right for it. That's the smallest thing I've ever caught a bass on. So that tiny little nymph just caught that bass on. That's a Prince nymph. So that was pretty sweet. Oh, I just saw something. Oh, it's a shopping cart. We see these shopping carts in here a lot. They are urban bushes, urban trees. If you're out in a river, you'll see a tree or a bush underwater that bass might be holding to. In the canals, you see a shopping cart. You fish them the same. You don't want to get snagged on either, and both of them can hold some good fish. Coming up on another stairwell here. We caught our first bass at a stairwell. Maybe we'll have similar luck here. Not on the first cast. Try one more. Give this one a little more time. It's a pretty short leader from my dry fly to my fly line, but usually I don't really care. With the grass carp, I'm going pretty much right at them, so I'm not like drifting it for a long period of time, and I'm moving the fly around quite a bit when I'm going after the grass carp. And then for bass, I'm usually moving it pretty quickly too. Everything, when I fish, I'm rarely like drifting super slowly. I'm mostly moving the flies, so I can get away with less of a leader because I'm not giving the fish as much time to look at it. It's just not normally my style. Now, if I'm fishing a river for like trout and they're obviously just keyed in on, you know, a certain dry fly or a certain nymph, then I'll give them a much bigger leader and just drift it for them. But different style of fishing out here generally. Was off. I apologize, but I just had a grass carp. I wasn't expecting it. I just had a grass carp come up and take the nymph. So that nymph is doing work this morning. Not a huge grass carp, but decent size. We're gonna try to bring him down to a staircase over here where I can land him. Yeah, I turned off the camera just for a second. I thought I was gonna move down a little farther, but I had my fly line out, and all of a sudden I just saw my hopper just drop, and I set the hook, and sure enough, got a grass carp on. So second species of the day, both on that nymph. I'm always surprised how awesome a nymph can do in these canals. A prince nymph like that. I don't know why though. Nymphs do great everywhere, so I don't know why. If you guys were wondering why I had such a big net earlier, it's because some of these carp can get pretty big. This one is not huge, but it's feisty. Oh yeah, pretty feisty. Nice fish. Try to get him up to me. He's fighting. The smaller grass carp like this actually fight a little harder, or they're more agile than the bigger ones, and maybe that's just common sense. The bigger ones, you catch them and they're like impossible to pull off the bottom. They get 12-15 pounds, and like I got my 6 weight today. You just gotta weight them out more. These smaller ones are more fun. They fight harder. As you can see, they're more agile, but oh yeah, they're a fun one. They're not as big, but they fight hard. Oh, come on, buddy. Oh. I think I have 10-pound line on, so, and my knots are pretty good. I'm not super worried about it breaking me off, but I still try to land them as fast as I can, so I don't wear them out too much. But I mean, he's just not ready. When they're not ready, they're not ready. Try to get his head up out of the water, then you can kind of drag him towards you a little bit more. Oh, almost had him. Yeah, this one's got some energy. Tighten my drag just a little bit, and maybe I can force him in a bit more, but nice, fun fish here. Oh, let's see, I got his head up there, and then we were able to get him. There we go, guys. Nice. Yeah, if you can get their head above the water, you can move them a little bit more. Pretty sweet right there. Look at that nymph, barely in its mouth right there. This nice grass carp right here, probably 4 or 5 pounds, maybe a little bit more. Barely had him hooked with that nymph. I'm surprised he held on. Not too bad there. All right, buddy, let it go. There he goes. Nice, guys. All right, 2 species on the day, both on that nymph. The do-it-all nymphs. I'm about to get wet here with this net, but that'll just cool me down a little bit. Probably getting up towards 90 degrees now. Sun's moving higher in the sky. That was a little surprising. It's been a while since I've caught a grass carp on anything other than a dry fly. But again, right now, from what I'm seeing, they're not feeding on top a ton right now. They're feeding about, looks like 2 feet under the surface, or that's mostly where they're at. I think that'll change as the day goes on, but what do I know? Things change all the time. Water temperature, the amount of water they're letting into the canals. So just happy to get on one. That was awesome. They're a great fight. They're a blast to fish for. And I just saw a pretty nice bass. Again, if I was just bass fishing, I'd probably have a black or pink streamer on right now. But the dry fly and the nymph allow me to kind of target multiple species. And again, in here there's carp, catfish, bass, tilapia, sunfish. So this dry dropper rig right now is a decent one to get on multi-species. All right, keep moving down. So nice, guys, the little nymph so far today. It's got on a decent bass. My biggest bass ever on a nymph. That's not true. I think I caught a bigger one on a nymph one time, but it was a bigger nymph than this. And then we got that grass carp right there. All right, yep, just walking the canals right now and just looking at the surface. The clarity for me is increasing a little bit. I can see about 3 or 4 feet down the side of the canals, and oftentimes bass are looking up those sides of them. Smaller ones are towards the top, bigger ones are a foot to 2 down if they're riding the sides looking for stuff to fall into the canals that they can snatch. And then the grass carp will just be cruising. The common carp, either you'll see bubbles towards the middle, then you'll need a longer leader because that means they're eating stuff down on the bottom and it's like 10 feet down, or they're feeding up on the sides and you can see them. Common carp have a long dorsal fin that runs almost the entire length of their back, and they're usually more orange in color, and then the grass carp are more tan golden color and have a short dorsal fin. So that's an easy way to be able to tell the difference between them right off the bat. Look at this, guys. Gorgeous industrial plant background to my fishing this morning. Man, you really can't ask for anything better than that. Beautiful. That's why I come out here, guys. Less about the fish, more about the scenery. All right, guys, well, today has just not gone according to plan. The fish, I mean, catching those 2 fish on the nymph to start the day, it's been a long time since I've caught any fish on a nymph other than a common carp, which I did a video on recently, and that was a lucky catch. But just a weird day. And then I've had some topwater strikes by bass, but super non-committal where they're grabbing the back of the fly and not much else. And the grass carp just aren't feeding today. August is a weird month here in Arizona. Like, we're at the dog days of summer, where I think this year we had a record 90 straight days over 100. And I think these fish are just ready for it to cool down. So the grass carp, I think, are kind of just hunkering down, because in spring, before it started heating up, I was just catching them all over the place, and massive ones. So the bass are starting to get more aggressive. Everything is turning up, but they're just behaving differently. So I've had to change lures, flies a lot. Right now I have a woolly bugger on, a beadhead woolly bugger. And now I'm basically throwing this beadhead woolly bugger on. I'm basically just going for bass now. Got a bass, guys. There we go. Finally got one. It's been a little while since I've got a fish, so just put on that woolly bugger, targeting bass a little more. It's nothing big, but it's a fish, guys. We'll take it. There we go. Little guy right there. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Broke the dry spell. Only a couple hours. Here we go. There he goes. That sink down, lower down on that stairwell. Big one. try to bring out a bass. Oh, guys. Oh, I had a fish. Dang it. That first strip, and then I went to strip again, and I had a fish on it. Had I done a hook set, we would have had that fish, but just can't see it all the time. And their mouths are so big, oftentimes when they bite, you don't feel it. If they don't turn, you don't feel it. You won't get that tick in the line. Bummer. See if that fish moved back. To the stair he was on. Another one like that. Fish on, guys. Got him. Got him the second time around. Nice. I was a little more patient with my stripping. And again, another smaller one, but got him. Nice. Simmer down. Simmer down. Pretty fish there, guys. Small one, but pretty. They're fun. Even a fish of this size, a bass of this size, will put a little bit of a bend in your 6 weight. And it's just good to have a 6 weight out here, just in case you get into a bigger one. Because if you get upwards 2-3 pounds on a bass, you're gonna need it. Pretty one. There he goes. All right, my fly box is kind of a mess right now, but I wanted to show you guys kind of what I'm using, what I bring out here when I come out here multi-species fly fishing at the canals. And plenty of like streamers of various colors, blacks, purples, egg-sucking leeches. This is a good one right here. Looks kind of like a dark tilapia or a bluegill. Dry flies of all sorts, frogs for bass, hoppers do really well. You guys have seen some of the stuff today that I've used. Cicadas, this is my favorite one here for the grass carp. And then I'll have nymphs that we caught those fish on earlier. Usually prince nymphs, I just like to fish those. San Juan worms, and then just an assortment of other flies. But I usually just keep one little box that I take the canals all the time, especially the canals that I fish. I always have flies for all situations, heavy enough to get to the bottom if I need to, dry flies to be on top. Try to have flies for grass carp specifically, for bass specifically, and then common carp, tilapia, other things. So I just try to keep that full for when I come out and fly fish the canals. All right, let's see. Oh, guys, a big bass. See a big bass. Oh, where'd he go? That's a nice bass. All right, guys, I'm still chasing that bass. Put on a weightless woolly bugger. Got him, guys. Finally got him. Got him, guys. Got him on the weightless woolly bugger. Threw some dry flies around him, threw some weighted flies, and just couldn't get him. And then, nice, guys. This is not a bad bass. He went straight down, so he's got some heft to him. So I'm gonna keep this rod to the side. And let's see if I can get him down to a stairwell or somewhere where I can land him easier. It's a nice bass. Yeah, this is tough because this is a steep part of the canals right here. And I don't want to lose this fish. I'm kind of a long way away from any stairs though. Oh, that's a nice bass, guys. I need to keep this fish on. I'm just gonna keep tension like this so he can't turn his head too much. This is a nice fish. I want to get him down to some stairwells. I'll be pretty lucky if I can land this fish, but hey, keep that rod low and to the side like this. Oh yeah, he's digging in. Oh, this is a nice fish. And because if I try to bring him straight up, he'll probably break the line, or he'll be able to jump and shake the hook. Oh guys, he got off. No, no. I didn't know how to play it, guys. That was a nice fish. That was a good bass right there. Darn it. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I've had it when I try to play a big fish like that straight up and they just break the line or they head shake and spit it. With the bass, I was really pushing my luck, trying to get way down to the stairs. I had about 50 yards more to go. I should make sure my hook is still straight. Man, I finally got him to bite something. I don't know how many different flies I threw at him and was hunting them down, and finally got him to bite something. And I forgot this was a barbless fly. That's probably why we lost him. I would have tried to play him harder. I forgot this was a barbless fly right here. Or, I don't know if it's, yeah, the barb is pinched down. So I must have done that a while ago. Normally with my bass flies, I don't pinch the barb down. They're such hardy fish and need it to be able to hold on to them. So it's probably why we lost him there. Bummer. Oh well, that was fun though. And fun to finally get that fish. Oh, that was a good bass. Next time, get bigger. Let me catch you again next time. All right, guys, that sun is directly overhead now. Getting a little too hot for me to keep fishing, but hey, got on a few bass today, got on that grass carp. If you guys liked the video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Videos every Tuesday. Leave some comments, guys. Help the channel grow. Thank you so much for joining Kevin Rapkoch Fishing. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.